Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. This is my latest video in my long line of Eyes Wide Shut collection. We are doing a deep dive into the movie, looking at every single aspect, from the dialogue to the scenes. I've got a treat for you today. We're going to be going through Dr. Bill's and Alice's relationship, what words are being said, and also we'll discuss Alice's words with Sandor, the words being said and what they really mean. So it's a bit of a treat for you guys. Make sure you check out my other videos, and everything's in playlists for you. Due to the very dark nature and themes of my videos, I'm having to put a lot of them on members only. I don't want to, but I have to. Mainly, a lot of them are too dark for YouTube. So without further ado, let's start the show. So we start with Dr. Bill Harford here walking around his room. So we start with this particular shot of Dr. Bill looking out his window. And just before this shot, we see a shot of the apartment building, and there seems to be somebody sitting on a park bench looking up. Was Dr. Bill followed before his adventures in the mansion party, I wonder? Were they all keeping an eye on him? Because don't forget, Dr. Bill here does house calls. So he would be rubbing shoulders with some of the most powerful and richest people in New York. So could it be that they also were suspicious and paranoid about him, and they've been following him for a long time before he got initiated at the mansion party? Maybe they wanted to check him out and make sure he was the right person. It wouldn't surprise me. And this is probably why Dr. Bill looks out of his window. Maybe he knows that he's being followed. The next few minutes of the movie tell us everything we want to know about Dr. Bill and his wife, Alice, about their relationship. Everything. This is the genius of Stanley Kubrick. Not one word is wasted in the movie. Every word has got a meaning, or a double meaning, or a triple meaning, in fact. So let's carry on. So at this point, Dr. Bill is walking around his bedroom,
We're running a
and
little late.
he asks his wife, Alice, where the wallet is. And Alice knows exactly where the wallet is, because she's in charge. She's the boss of the house, and she controls Dr. Bill and his finances. And it looks to me the only thing that she doesn't control is Dr. Bill's dressing room here. Because if you notice, the rest of the room or rest of the house is very clean and tidy. But this is the only part of the room or the house where things are a mess. I mean, look at the floor. His shoes are everywhere. There's stuff in the windowsill. There's golf clubs lying around. So this tells me that this is Dr. Bill's space. And Alice doesn't, Alice knows that. She knows that this is his space, and she doesn't go in. She doesn't mess things up over there because that's his own space. But as you know, at the end of the film, she controls that space at the end of the movie. after he gets killed. She controls it. And you see her in the beginning of the movie, which is obviously a time jump in the future. She's getting naked, and the golf clubs have been replaced by tennis rackets. We know that tennis rackets are used by Ziegler because in the film we know that he plays tennis. And it's her room that's, it's her basically stuff that's scattered around, not Dr. Bill's. It's her shoes, her stuff. And the room itself is a lot more brighter and nicer. So what happened to Dr. Bill? Why doesn't he control this space anymore? It's because he's dead. So let's analyze the words that are being exchanged between Dr. Bill and his wife, Alice. So after he finds his wallet, obviously Alice knows exactly where the wallet is. He says, "Now listen, we're running a little late." I just find this very strange coming from Dr. Bill. Why do I find it strange? Obviously, doctors love to be very punctual. I know that because they have appointments with their clients and they schedule appointments and they have to see their clients on time. So they are used to being punctual. I understand that. But if you look at the film overall, Bill Harford is always late. Always. He's late at the mansion party. He's the last one in. He's late at the costume shop. In fact, he's so late that they're shut, and he has to basically use his get out of jail free card, his doctor's card, to get in. It's almost like he's late at every single part of this movie. And he's late in terms of he's the last one to open his eyes. His eyes are well wide shut at this moment. But his wife Alice, her eyes were wide open. So has everyone else's eyes has been wide open in the film. All the characters, they know exactly what's going on because they're all part of it. They're all part of the elites, part of the mansion party. They know what's going on. And Dr. Bill is obviously the last one to open his eyes. He's well late to the party, well late. So you see, these words have double meanings.
I know. How do I look?
Perfect.
So let's discuss this part. And I must admit, guys, I'm on the side of Alice here. Because he walks into the bathroom, he doesn't even look at her. He doesn't see her. He doesn't acknowledge her. He doesn't listen to her. He's looking at himself in the mirror. Seems like that's all he cares about. Whether he looks good or not. And you can tell Alice is extremely unhappy in this marriage. Extremely. Mainly because her husband doesn't see her. She says, "How do I look?" He's not even looking at her. He's looking at himself. And he's like, "Yeah, you're fine. You're fine, dear." And she says, "Is my hair okay?" He's like, yeah, it's fine, fine. So let me tell you something about this particular line. Is my hair okay? If you look at Alice throughout the whole movie, her hair has not changed. This is the exact same hairstyle she wears throughout the movie, from start to end. Watch the movie again, you will see this is the exact same hairstyle. She never lets it down. This is who you see and what you get. Watch the whole movie if you have to. So the fact that she says, "Is my hair okay?" he doesn't even notice that it's the same hair. She hasn't changed. The only thing that she's changed, by the looks of it, is the dress. But he doesn't even acknowledge that. Guys, if you have wives or girlfriends, make sure you buy them some flowers, grab them by the waist, kiss them. Just let them know you care about them, you love them, you appreciate them. And most of all, you see them. Women want to feel that they are seen, not just the way they look, but appreciate them for who they are, outside and inside. Because at the end of the day, men and women are different, guys. Very different. You know, women, they love being cherished and adored. This is why women love attention. But they don't want attention from every single guy. They just want attention from one guy. Their husbands or their lovers. But yeah, watching these two really makes me sad that a beautiful woman like that is unloved and unappreciated and unseen. All these words in this movie, if you analyze every single word, they all mean something. Like I said, Stanley Kubrick has spent 10 years making this movie. He has finally adjusted every single dialogue, every frame, every shot, every angle. So let's look at this. Did you give Roz the phone and pager numbers? It's a very significant piece of information. And what does Dr. Bill
Phone
say?
and pager numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it on the fridge. Let's go. So why is that significant? I'll tell you why. Can you see, guys? So just a second ago, Alice basically said the name of the babysitter's name, Roz. She says, did you give Roz the phone numbers and the pager numbers? And he said, yes, they're on the fridge. And within a couple of seconds, if not that, he's asking her, what's the babysitter's name? Just a couple of seconds. So what does that tell you about Dr. Bill? He is not paying attention to anything she says. It's because he doesn't see her. And he's not even listening to her. So Alice has to repeat the babysitter's name to Dr. Bill. The name she just mentioned a few seconds ago. And look at her stance. Look at her body language. At this point, she's very annoyed. She's looking directly at his eyes. And she's got a very aggressive stance to her. And she says to him, Roz, without raising her voice. Her body language tells you everything, that she's not happy. Even the cat is looking directly at Dr. Bill. Even the cat is thinking, what the hell are you doing, Dr. Bill? Well, not a real cat, picture of a cat. And now we come to the scene with Helena and Roz here. And immediately, Helena goes to her mum, asking her mum for permission if she can stay up late. And she's not asking her dad. This shows us who the boss of the house is. And also the fact that she wants to watch Nutcracker. And we all know what the Nutcracker ballet is all about. It's about shapeshifters. It's about grown men turning into dolls. It's about young girls falling in love with dolls which turn into grown men. Very, very dark, the Nutcracker. Even the word Nutcracker, it should not be a word that children use. The word Nutcracker itself, if you look at the meaning of it, the true meaning, it's a very much a sex meaning. And it's basically the rhythmic tightening and relaxing of vaginal or pelvic floor muscles around a partner's bits during intercourse to increase sensation and pleasure. So you see, guys, kids should not be using this word lightly. This is why Stanley Kubrick was extremely clever with his words. So why is Helena using this particular word? Perhaps it's foreshadowing Helena's future path. We also see the words sex on top of Helena's bed in some sort of drawing or some sort. So all of these signs are basically telling us about what will happen to Helena and how her mother is grooming her to get her ready for that stage of her life. It's very dark, guys. Very dark indeed. I'll tell you something else that I've noticed. Something extremely troubling. Not once did I see Dr. Bill kiss Alice on the lips. Not once. I'm not joking here. And you're welcome to watch the whole movie from start to end. At no particular time, not even once, does Dr. Bill shows his wife any source of intimacy or affection by kissing her lips. He doesn't. All we see is him doing these silly kisses on top of her head, like he's kissing a child, or like he's kissing his sibling, because that's not how you would kiss a wife. And if any of you guys are doing that in your relationships, just stop it. Kissing your wife is different from kissing your sibling or your daughter. You need to grab her by the hips and show her how much you care for her. You need to show her how much you love her by kissing her on the lips. Even if it's not a full-on kiss, just a quick peck on the lips is better than nothing. But Dr. Bill here doesn't even do that. He doesn't even give her a quick peck on the lips. He's kissing her hair, kissing her neck. At one point, he kisses her cheeks. Never on the lips, never. I mean, look at this. At one point, he's kissing her neck. Next minute, he's kissing her top of her head. And in this scene, he's kissing her cheeks. Like she's some sort of friend or something. What a loser. Seriously, what a loser. And look who's standing at the back. It's Mr. Jeffrey E.P. Stein himself. Some people said that Stanley Kubrick went through great lengths to make this guy look like E.P. Stein. And some people are pointing out that Stanley Kubrick gave this particular actor a chin job. This is a better shot and a better angle. I mean, look at that guy's chin. That is definitely a chin job. I think that Stanley Kubrick has gone through great lengths to make that guy look exactly like Jeffrey E.P. Stein. Because look at that guy's chin, it's not natural. That is obviously makeup and prosthetics. 100%. And I want you to analyze this particular dialogue that's been exchanged between Dr. Bill and his wife Alice here. Alice asks him, "Do you know anybody here?" And Dr. Bill says, "Not a soul." And guess who's standing behind them? It's Mr. Jeffrey E.P. Stein. So imagine saying these words while Jeffrey is standing right behind them. This is not an accident. We know that Stanley Kubrick's a master of photography and framing. He would have framed this shot perfectly. And look who Dr. Bill is pointing at. He is looking through Alice. And Jeffrey at the back. And when she says, "Do you know anyone here?" he says, "Not a soul." And again, these words have double meanings. What he's really trying to say is these people are soulless. None of these people have any souls. And he also means his wife. Because she says, "Do you know anyone here?" He says, "Not a soul." Everyone in this party does not have a soul, including his wife, by the way. Because he could have easily said, "No, I only know you." But no, nobody here has got a soul. And you can look at Alice's face here. She looks extremely unhappy. And her eyes are completely soulless. This is an SRA survivor. She used to be Helena when she was initiated to this, I wouldn't say cult because it's more than that. It's a group of elites basically running the world. So she probably got initiated when she was Helena's age. And she's gone through a life of SRA. She definitely has no soul, because people that go through that become soulless themselves. It's a very sad, dark story, guys. Very sad, dark story. If you analyze all of the words, actions, everything. And finally, guys, I want to analyze this particular shot here. So at this point, Dr. Bill and Alice walk in to Ziegler's party, and they are greeted by Ziegler and his wife. Look at Dr. Bill's hand position and the position of his head. Don't you think this looks like the Christ figure? Was this done on purpose, do you think, by Stanley Kubrick? Could be. It could be, because if you look at the original screenplay for this movie, which we know has been cut out. There's a segment of Alice's dream where she tells Dr. Bill that she's getting obviously done by hundreds of men in front of Dr. Bill, and Dr. Bill gets crucified. So is this some sort of foreshadowing to that particular scene? We know that scene was cut out from the movie. We don't know if the studio cut it out or we don't know. But it's very interesting that Dr. Bill here is doing something very similar to being, crucified. And there's another thing about this particular scene, guys. You have to watch it. I can't play the sound. But when they walk in, Ziegler, he acknowledges Alice twice. So when Dr. Bill walks in with Alice, Dr. Bill acknowledges Victor Ziegler first. He says, Victor. And what does Victor says in return? He says Alice in return. He doesn't acknowledge Bill first. He acknowledges Alice first. And then Dr. Bill basically goes and gives him a handshake. And at this point, Ziegler acknowledges him, says Bill. And then he looks straight at Alice again. I mean, look how happy he looks. This guy is in love with Alice. I'm telling you. He is in deep, deep love with Alice. So let me summarize this. When Dr. Bill walks in with his wife, Dr. Bill says to Victor in the beginning, he says, Victor. But Victor replies back with Alice. Then Dr. Bill shakes his hand and Victor's like, oh, Bill, Bill. And immediately he turns around and his eyes are widely on Alice. Very widely. I mean, this guy is in serious, serious love with Dr. Bill's wife. And later in the movie, when they're dancing, when Alice says to Dr. Bill, do you know anyone here? And Dr. Bill's like, not even a soul. So what does that tell you? It tells you that it's not Dr. Bill that gets invited to these parties. It's Alice that gets invited to these parties every year. They get invited to these parties because of Alice. Dr. Bill thinks it's because of his house calls. But they don't give a damn about Dr. Bill. It's Alice that they want. And Ziegler here obviously has the hots for Alice. He wants her for himself. And he would gladly get rid of Dr. Bill. He obviously can't kill him. So he hatches a plan. So I want you to analyze this shot here. And I want you to analyze this shot very carefully. Because Stanley Kubrick is an absolute genius. And I've said that hundreds of times. You must be absolutely bored of me saying this. But I will say it a million times more. I mean, look at this shot. Where is Dr. Bill? He's out of the picture. Can you see? You don't see Dr. Bill in this shot at all. Look at Ziegler. Ziegler's shaking hands with somebody invisible. He's looking at Alice and he's shaking hands with some invisible guy who's not even on the shot. Dr. Bill is nowhere to be seen in this shot. We see Alice, we see Ziegler and Ziegler's wife. Again, this is foreshadowing by Stanley Kubrick. Because these three hatch a plan to get Dr. Bill out the picture for good. And by the end of the movie, or shall I say the beginning of the movie, it works. The plan works because Dr. Bill is out the picture. He is killed. And I think Stanley Kubrick is foreshadowing this shot to show us that these three, Ziegler here, his wife, and Alice, were all involved in Dr. Bill's death. And they got him out of the picture. And what do we see in the first shot when Alice takes down her clothes? We see her taking charge of Bill's dressing room, making it her own, and we see 2 tennis rackets. And we know Ziegler plays tennis because he told us. Is everything becoming clear to you guys now? Anyway, I was going to talk about Sandor, but maybe I'll leave that for my next video. I'll leave that for tomorrow, and I'll end it here, guys. Take care for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and do whatever you can to support the channel. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.